This is a Gear Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Mr. Perez, and you're listening to the Better Live Than Dead podcast, brought to you exclusively on Gear Network. Listen in.
How's it going? It's episode number 30.
Number 30.
30 of the Better Live Than Dead podcast. When I was writing the podcast,
I hope that wasn't very loud in people's speakers.
Yeah, whatever.
When we just start with me screaming number 30.
It's exciting.
That's right. I agree.
I was writing the podcast, and I wrote episode 30 on the paper, and I'm like, doesn't seem like it's been that long, but apparently we've been doing this for just a little while.
No doubt. Nothing wrong with that.
Having fun.
What are we going to do when we hit a year? We should have some type of big blowout celebration. Like beers, hookers, strippers,
okay,
cigars.
I'll text John and see if that's in the Gear Radio Network budget.
Okay,
I'm sure we can do an Amazon push and just start buying all of our stuff off Amazon so we can get a check in the mail, which then we could revert into beers, hooker, drugs, anything to make the 1 year Gear Network party for Better Live Than Dead
exactly
a memorable one.
That'll be fun.
I'm hoping so.
You know what? Listen, if we're going to do it big, got to do it big.
You gotta have a good time. You gotta do things you're gonna regret, so you'll never forget them, right?
I say we skip the hookers though, and just get extra strippers.
Just strippers. Well, we could probably hire some fancy strippers though, like some call girl strippers.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
We gotta be. I don't want to see the C-section scars and the stretch marks.
Well, that would be bad. We're not getting strippers from the barrel. For those of y'all who don't live in Rochester, the Barrel is a strip club that only employs the finest of the finest looking women, and I say that very sarcastically.
Dripping.
You want to see gunshots, wounds, and stab wounds, and birth scars, that's the place to go.
With that being said, I will be there tonight.
I've never been there. I just know a lot of people that have been there.
Let's go there tonight, Perez.
So, dude, it's
a winter storm outside. It's going to be cold, and we can go enjoy our Valentine's Day at a strip club.
It's right. It's Valentine's Day. I'm married.
Yeah.
I have plans.
Okay. You know what my plans are involving some V's. I'm going to drink some vodka, and I'm going to play some video games.
It sounds like a pleasant bachelor.
It's a very romantic
Valentine's.
Valentine's
Yeah, but it's Valentine's Day, dude. This is the one night a year where people like you who are single can go out to clubs and bars, and you could be the goofiest looking dude on the planet, which I'm not saying you are.
Thank you.
I'm just saying in general, you could be the goofiest looking dude on the planet. And guess what? For this one night, at the end, 2:00 in the morning rolls around, when they play that song, you don't gotta leave, but you can't stay here, you're not going to be lonely for those couple of hours before morning time. Until you roll over and you realize either she was a beast or she rolls over and realized you were a beast, and maybe you shouldn't have drank that much.
I mean, it is what it is, really.
It is. So
but
I mean,
it's sounding like tonight, at least in the Western New York area, that we're going to be snowed in, winded in, frozen in.
Oh yeah, it's getting kind of bad out right now.
Yeah, it's. I wasn't expecting there to be 5 or 6 inches of snow on the ground already when we start the podcast, but
there's like 20 freaking inches of snow on the ground. It's stupid.
It's gonna be cold and windy, and
I'm just saying.
That's the other reason I'm getting video games and alcohol, because if I can't do anything, I'm gonna be stuck in a house. I might as well enjoy myself.
Well, don't you got anyone you could call?
Probably not.
I'm sure you got someone you could call.
We'll see.
Do you want me to call some people for you?
I'll see what I can do.
I know some single females.
I'll see what I can do. With I guess with our it was kind of like a Get Ready America intro segment right there. Just kind of chatting about whatever. Feels good. You don't want to rush into things. You want to get the feeling good and get the podcast started.
Unless you're single tonight, then you should really rush into things.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't make any terrible decisions. If you do, just blame Mom Perez.
Well, just if you're going to make terrible decisions, at least use condoms. That's all I suggest.
Absolutely. Let's not make that terrible of a decision.
Right.
You don't want to meet someone and then get them pregnant on the same night, because that would be
bad.
Bad idea. Although if you have that kind of luck,
you probably should have stayed home, drank alcohol, and played video games.
Yeah, exactly. Don't try to say I'm getting people pregnant, Perez. Because
did I say that?
Try to insinuate it.
I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just saying, if you have that type of luck, like you said.
Either way, I'm just going to sit home and that's what I'm going to do. Play video games.
I'm going to send some people to your house then.
Golf seems... What was that? I didn't hear what you said. I was.
So I'm going to send some people to your house for you
okay,
then.
Whatever. That's fine. You know the address?
I do.
With that being said, we're going to shoot it over now to the news you need to know.
News you need to know.
And like Perez always says, now you'll know it.
You know, we haven't even introduced ourselves yet.
No, we're not going to.
We're not going to. We're just going to let it go out.
Until the news segment.
Okay.
Let's make it happen. News you need to know. I'm Ryan Wolf.
And I'm Mr. Perez.
And here's some sports news that's happened over the past week between episode 29 and episode 30.
Amazing how that works.
It's interesting. Usually as things get older, they age, and our podcast is aging.
Right.
Getting close to the midlife crisis of a podcast. We still haven't figured out what that is yet, but maybe we'll start talking about like European sports or something like on our 37th episode because it's the midlife crisis of the podcast. I don't know.
Get some cricket, some rugby.
Exactly. We'll just start talking about like the Premier League.
No doubt.
Exactly. Panthers defensive end Greg Hardy has charges dropped in his domestic violence case after his accuser did not show up in court. Rumors of a settlement were being rumbled around, but nothing confirmed because they can't find her. I'm assuming she's still alive. Yes, because she disappears and.
Well, Aaron Hernandez is in prison, so I know he didn't call him to make the situation go away.
Well, speaking of that, his fiance just turned on him because they gave her immunity, and I'm pretty sure she's turning on him because they said either you're going to jail or you're speaking, and he's going to stay in jail.
Awesome.
So she turned on him, and he'll be in jail for a very long time. But anyways, as for Greg Hardy, his NFL future is still murky. He missed 15 games last season after being on the double secret probation.
Double secret probation?
Yeah, the Animal House double secret probation.
Right.
I assume he'll be back next season because how are you going to suspend a guy twice? But then I got to ask Adrian Peterson, who's been suspended like 17 times since he got arrested or charged with child abuse. So we'll find out what happens with Greg Hardy, but it is being said that his teammates do want him back in Carolina. He is a very talented football player, not such a good person, it appears, but...
That happens a lot, though.
Yeah, when it comes to the National Football League, it doesn't really matter how good of a person you are. As long as you're good at football, that's all they care about.
Right, I agree.
The NFL names Dr. Elizabeth Nabel the league's first chief medical officer. Not sure what she'll be doing yet, but they're trying to... It almost seems like this is an image thing because it makes the NFL look better if they have someone at the head of... But it's not even a full-time job. She still is a doctor. I think she works at a place in Boston. I didn't get that. I probably should have wrote that down.
It's all good, man.
But it seems like on the surface, it seems like a PR thing, but
right.
It could be good for the league if she's used correctly.
Well, yeah, you don't really see very many female.
No, that's a big deal.
Employees with the NFL.
Yeah, that's a big.
So that is a big deal. Or, like you said, it's a publicity stunt where they're like, domestic violence doesn't really exist as much as you people think it is. Here, look, we hired a woman.
Yeah, and now it's with the being the chief medical officer, it's hey, we've got these concussion problems.
Right.
Let's hire someone to take care of it, and they just kind of pushed under the rug like they do everything else. So we'll see what happens. I try to remain open-minded about the National Football League, but it's kind of tough. The Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy gives up his play-calling duties. Offensive coordinator Tom Clements gets the gig and a promotion to the position de jour of the offseason, the assistant head coach / offense. So I'm assuming as we've gotten more of these, I think this is the fourth or fifth time we've got a guy who has this job now. I believe he's the assistant head coach and kind of the head coach of the offense. So if the guy's an assistant... Like with Dick LeBeau, he's the assistant head coach / defense. I'm assuming he's the assistant head coach / head coach of the defense. Well, that's just iTunes being a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry. No, iTunes, every time I come on this computer, Apple always tells me to install stuff.
Gotcha.
And I'm not going to install iCloud.
Because they're trying to take over the world.
Yeah, I don't want iCloud. I don't have an iPhone. I don't need an iCloud.
Right.
I go F yourself, okay?
iPhones suck anyway.
Speaking of the Green Bay Packers, I do agree with you, Perez. I don't like them very much anymore. Green Bay Packers, Brett Favre announces on his website, Green Bay will retire his number 4 in 2015.
Brett Favre.
Not sure if they're going to put a pair of Crocs under it. But
some Levi jeans.
Exactly. Seattle Seahawks secondary coach Chris Richard will be named, or has been named, I should say, the new defensive coordinator of the Seahawks. The trend continues with that franchise. The defense gets people new jobs.
Right.
Gus Bradley in Jacksonville, Dan Quinn in Atlanta. If the defense continues to stay as good as they are, I'm assuming Chris Richard's name will probably be heard throughout the head coaching ranks very shortly. Moving on to Peyton Manning now. He reportedly tells Denver he plans to return next season. Do you think this is a good move, or do you think it's probably not a good idea for Peyton to come back?
I think he needs to hang it up. His body wore down as the season went on, and it's not going to get any better. You're getting older now. Peyton, hang it up.
I feel like if Peyton comes back, you need to have a very good running game.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Run the ball. Get two decent running backs. Run the ball 400 times in a season.
Listen,
let Peyton throw the ball
right
200 times less this year. So when it comes to the playoffs, his arm isn't ragged.
Listen, I get it. You want that second ring. Everybody wants that ring. And overall, you were a better quarterback than your brother, but you only got one ring.
I think he wants to. I think if he won the Super Bowl, he would walk.
Oh, absolutely. If he won the Super Bowl, he's going out.
Yeah.
So, but he needs to hang it up.
Well,
They'll make some more Buick commercials.
The question is, too, does Denver want him back? I mean, I'm assuming they will, but I believe they owe him $19 million once the league year turns on March 10th.
Right. I don't know.
So, do you want to spend that amount of cash on Peyton Manning when you could...
It's possible.
Allocate it somewhere else. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I mean, he should go make some more Papa John commercials.
He owns a bunch of Papa John's in Denver.
Does he?
Or in Colorado. I don't know if it's in Denver or in Colorado. Either way, they legalized marijuana in Colorado. And you know the stereotype. People love pizza when they smoke the marijuana. So maybe he's making some good money. I heard he was making good money.
I'm
through the Papa
fat.
John's.
I like pizza. And I don't smoke marijuana.
I had pizza last night at work. It was delicious.
That's good.
NFL Films founder Ed Sable passes away at 98.
Rest in peace.
Absolutely. He's a pioneer. He's why we have all the good stuff we have today when it comes to the sound effects, the highlights, all that stuff. Going to be a big loss for the NFL community for sure.
I agree.
Saints officially announced ex-Raiders head coach Dennis Allen as a defensive assistant. Most likely will be the next defensive coordinator if Rob Ryan falls flat on his face. Colts cut safety LaRon Landry. They'll save about $2 million in cap space. You may remember LaRon Landry as the human muscle.
Right.
The dude has got popped for PEDs last year. Not a surprise because he is
he's
built like a brick you-know-what.
Yes, he is.
I don't want to curse today, because I don't have to go back and I have to edit it, so I'm just going to edit myself before I even curse.
You should just, instead of like the true edit of yourself, just every time you want to curse, just beep.
Beep. Okay,
right.
That's a good idea. Bucks cut quarterback Josh McCown, who went 1-10 last year as a starter. Was supposed to be he was great in Chicago. Had that good hot stretch in Chicago when Cutler was hurt, and then went to Tampa Bay with Lovie Smith, and it was not meant to be. But apparently, the Buffalo Bills are one of the teams that are expected to be interested in McCown, which whatever, it'll probably be either Mark Sanchez or Josh McCown or someone of that nature. So whatever. Excuse me. And the last thing in football before we move on, Perez, I'm not sure if you caught this, but Eagles wide receiver Riley Cooper is the February photo in the team's calendar. Now, apparently this happened a few months ago, but it just got picked up now. The power of social media, sometimes they're on top of things before they happen. Sometimes they're way behind the curve. But question for you: what is February? Like, what is the important theme of February usually?
Valentine's Day.
I'm not talking a day. I'm talking the month. What type of month is it?
Black History Month.
Black History Month. Correct. Okay. And who have we found out that Riley Cooper does not like?
I'm stumped.
He does not like black people.
Riley Cooper doesn't like black people?
Do you not remember last year when he got busted on the internet for throwing the N-bomb around?
That's right.
Yeah. So somebody goofed or played an elaborate troll on us, and Riley Cooper is the cover photo for the month of February, which is Black History Month, a man who does not seem to like
black people.
So
that's tremendous.
That's stupid. Hilariously stupid.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And naturally, once Twitter got a hold of that, Twitter took off and had a lot of fun with it.
I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
Who does like black people? I'm just playing. Just playing, people.
That's terrible.
I'm just playing.
That's terrible, Perez.
I know. I'm just playing.
That is very terrible.
Say the same thing about us Hispanics.
Same thing about white people.
I said us Hispanics like you're Spanish.
Yeah, I am, kind of. I can say, me llamo es pizza.
Your name's Pizza, huh?
Correct. Moving over to the NCAA now. 2 big losses this week. Ex-UNC head coach Dean Smith and ex-UNLV head coach Jerry Tarkanian pass away.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Very sad. Two of the pioneers of the sport.
Jerry Tarkanian used to crack me up on the sidelines chewing on his towel.
Yep.
Used to make me laugh. So what's wrong with this dude?
Hey, whatever. If it works, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Seriously. Moving over to the MLB now. James Shields, Big Game James, if you want to call him that, agrees to a 4-year, $75 million deal with the San Diego Padres. Their powerful offseason continues.
That's not bad change.
We're going to talk about them sometime soon. We're going to do a baseball podcast.
Right.
Now that John has officially announced his new gig, we can officially say that I think John is going to become a regular on the Better Live Than Dead podcast, which would be I'd be more than happy to have him. You're making yourself a whole lot of friends so far, Perez. Like we're only 16 minutes in, and you're already making yourself a ton of friends. But the thing about this deal that's interesting is he can opt out after 2 years.
Who, John?
Well, maybe. John can opt out whenever he wants
Says
to.
he's got a new gig.
Yeah, John can opt out whenever he wants to. James Shields can opt out after 2 years, so if he does good in 2 years, and he can do what A-Rod did and pine for more cash or go to a better spot if the Padres aren't good.
Who knows?
Speaking of Alex Rodriguez, he finally gets to apologize to the Yankees. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. What did he say? I'm sorry I took steroids. I'm sorry my body. I have the body of a 65-year-old man. I'm sorry that I'm only going to hit 175 this season.
No.
You know.
That's not what he said. Why don't you tell us what he said?
He just apologized for using steroids and lying and being a pile of crap. That's what he did.
He's, as a Yankee fan, I'm not looking forward to him returning to our team.
Well, he's probably going to be the DH, but the problem with that is there's so many guys in that team that are over the hill, like Mark Teixeira will probably play a lot of DH. Alex Rodriguez will probably play a lot of DH. Alex Rodriguez may play first base.
Right.
It's going to be an interesting year for Yankee fans.
Yeah, it's going to suck.
And I'm not even saying that just because I'm a Red Sox. I'm saying that just subjectively as a baseball fan. It's going to be a very weird year.
Yeah, it's going to suck.
I think the American League East is going to be very weird this year, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I was checking out something about the Red Sox where real quick, they're still linked up to Cole Hamels, but the Phillies want 2 of the Red Sox top prospects, Blake Swihart, Mookie Betts. Not going to happen.
For this season and this season alone, I may go get me a new favorite team.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing.
Whatever. You do what you want, man.
It won't be the Boston Red Sox.
That's sorry for you.
I'm not.
The interesting thing about it is that there's no real team that has a defined ace in the AL East.
No.
I mean, because there's Sabathia in New York, but he's had injury problems. There's the Red Sox who have Rick Porcello.
The crazy part about Sabathia is that he lost weight and got horrible.
It's almost like his body is once he lost weight, his body was like his knees were like, okay,
right,
we're really bad. We're hiding it behind the 275 pounds that you had.
Exactly.
It was. Ex-Brewer Ricky Weeks agrees to terms with the Seattle Mariners to be an infielder, outfielder, utility guy, kind of sort of, I guess. But we'll see how that works out. And speaking of the Brewers, catcher Jonathan Lucroy out 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring strain. I'm assuming 4 to 6 weeks will be the start of the regular season, so he may or may not be back for opening day. Moving over to the NBA now, Greg Popovich, the San Antonio Spurs head coach, the 9th ever coach to win 1,000 games. Congratulations to Pop. New York Knicks, Carmelo Anthony likely to shut it down after the All-Star game. Do you have a problem with Carmelo playing in the All-Star game and then shutting it down after the All-Star game?
Hey, it's a toss-up. I mean, I understand it's New York City at the All-Star game. You want to play in front of your crowd, your home. But at the same token, if you're planning on shutting it down, you should probably just shut it down.
It's not a good look. I don't think, at least. But I understand the sentiment.
Yeah, but
it just doesn't seem like a good look.
Carmelo's an underachiever.
He's an interesting guy.
He's a ball stop. Like, I hardly ever see Carmelo Anthony pass the ball. If he gets the ball, he's going to shoot it. That's
like me in NBA 13, man. I take like 28 3-pointers a game.
Nice. He's not a great, passing teammate. He's not a good teammate, in my opinion. So, I think, unfortunately, Phil Jackson has mismanaged this team so far.
I feel like he just, not necessarily mismanagement, but misunderstood what he had.
It's possible.
Because he thought he had something and then realized really quick, nope, I don't have that, so we got to just kind of be bad and rebuild that way. Moving over to Sacramento now, a big splash this week. George Karl, a man of 1,131 career wins, last coached Denver in the 2012-2013 season, will now be the new Kings head coach following the All-Star break. Very bold move for that team, who's kind of struggled, or not kind of struggled, has struggled. They fired their coach. Their interim coach hasn't been real good.
Right.
You bring in a guy of Karl's stature, hopefully he can turn that thing around. Los Angeles Clippers, Blake Griffin out 4 to 6 weeks after surgery to remove a staph infection in his elbow. And Charlotte acquires Mo Williams. As you can hear my page turn, Charlotte acquires Mo Williams to try to continue their playoff push while Kemba Walker still recovers from knee surgery. Moving over to the National Hockey League now. Goaltender Evgeny Nabokov retires with 353 career wins, goes back to San Jose and retires with them, which was pretty neat. Flyers goaltender Steve Mason out 2 to 3 weeks after having arthroscopic knee surgery. Oilers forward Taylor Hall out 4 to 6 weeks with a lower leg injury. Sharks coach Todd McClellan is the second fastest coach to 300 wins, and he did it in 515 games. Bruce Boudreau, currently of the Ducks, won 300 in 496 games. He's the fastest, obviously. And something we'll talk about next segment, the Buffalo Sabres kind of shocked the National Hockey League and make two big deals this week.
I heard about that.
A lot of fun happening in Buffalo. A lot of work I had to do this week. I was talking about how crazy the podcast was writing it.
Right.
There's two full days right there of just nonstop work I had to do, but nothing wrong with that.
Oh, poor you.
It was a lot of fun.
I
a lot of
believe
excitement. Moving over to the UFC now. Another drug bust, or a failed test. Not a drug bust, a failed test. Rory McDonald and Hector Lombard's fight at UFC 186 was scrapped because Lombard tested positive for, let me try to get this right, desoxymethyl testosterone, which is a designer drug.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. It was a lot easier the first time I read it because it was on a computer screen. I'm trying to read my handwriting, and it's not very good.
Okay, that explains it.
It's considered a designer drug. It's made specifically to skirt drug tests, and clearly he did not skirt the drug test this time.
Bad job,
so
dude.
He's out for a while.
Bad job.
We found out that at UFC Fight Night 68 on June 6th, Daniel Cormier returns to the cage to fight Ryan Bader. And at UFC Fight Night 65, May 15th, a super fight, a long time coming, long time in the making. Uriah Faber takes on Frankie Edgar.
That should be a good one.
That should be a very good fight.
I like Uriah Faber.
He's my favorite. One of my favorites.
Yeah, he's great. He's pretty cool.
They're saying that it's like Tupac and Biggie.
Right.
Because Faber's from the West Coast, Edgar's from the East Coast, and they've kind of had this ongoing rivalry from the WEC days.
Right.
Never been able to get the fight together. They said this fight almost didn't even happen. But Faber and Edgar are both at a point where Faber's in line for another title shot. He's been really good in the UFC every fight except for title fights. He just can't seem to get over the hump.
Right.
So he's in line for another title fight after earning another shot, but there's people in front of him that are waiting for their shot, so he's kind of got to fill a schedule out or just sit around and decided, let's take this fight.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt me because we're both fighting. We're fighting at 145, so it's like they met middle ground.
That should be a good fight.
I can't wait to see it, and it's going to be on. I think it's in they're going to be in the Philippines for the first time.
Really?
So they're using that to kick off their relationship in that area.
That's pretty cool.
And last but not least, Rashad Evans out 6 to 7 months after getting a second ACL procedure. Apparently, he had a cadaver put into his knee, and it didn't set well. So he's going back to have it fixed because the fight he was supposed to take won't be happening for a while. So he figured while I'm waiting for the fight, I might as well get my knee fixed. Moving over to Little League World Series now, the Jackie Robinson West team stripped of their 2014 U.S. Little League World Series title. Apparently, somebody falsified district boundaries to create a super team. I personally think it's a bunch of crap, but,
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of crap.
It is, because the thing is, the surrounding teams didn't say anything about these boundaries until after the team won.
Right.
If the team hadn't won anything, I guarantee we never would have heard about it.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But now that someone had heard and it had been made
I think it's ridiculous.
It's been made notice of. It's stupid.
I mean, granted, if the adults change the boundaries and they cheated, there should be some type of penalty.
Yeah, they got fired.
But
they're not
don't take the World Series championship away from these kids who played really hard to achieve what they did.
Exactly. It's not like they were using it's not like Danny Almonte where they're using older kids.
Right.
They just made a super team.
Yeah. So and in in Little League, like, do you really have a super team?
Apparently they were the best of the area, but
still, it's not like it's not like you put a bunch of people on a major league team.
Yeah, I feel bad for the kids.
That's
Absolutely.
stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Moving over to our weekly Tiger Woods update, which will probably stop after this week, the PGA. Excuse me. Tiger Woods, after shooting an 82 at Torrey Pines before withdrawing, which we talked about last week, he announces that he's taking an indefinite leave of absence from the game of golf. Says, quote, "My latest injury is not related to my previous surgery. My play and scores are not acceptable for tournament golf." Now, Perez, before I get your 2 cents on this, he ranks 62nd in the world right now, which is the lowest he's ever been since turning pro in 1996.
Right.
So his game is going down, going backwards. He's got to figure out. I feel like he needs to figure out a way to play golf with his current body. I feel like the way he plays the game now is shaped towards old Tiger Woods, and he can't play that kind of game because he's nowhere near
old Tiger Woods,
physically, mentally, anything like that.
Yeah, he needs to come up with a better game plan. It's a shame when Tiger's playing the way he's playing, but if you go over to Pebble Beach right now with the pro-am that's going on, John Daly's playing pretty good.
He seems to do that every so often.
John Daly's playing good.
Yeah, he seems to just show up he'll play tournaments every year. He plays a bunch of tournaments, but there's always that one tournament of the year where even if it's for a couple rounds, he shows up.
Yeah, him and his ugly pants.
He's hilarious.
He's got some horrific pants.
He's an interesting character.
He is.
For sure.
His pants always remind me of how certain NBA players dress.
Like Dwight Howard?
Oh, dude, that suit jacket was
ugly.
Horrific.
Ugly.
But look at Russell Westbrook. Like Russell Westbrook, he dresses really bad. Really bad.
He also looks like a Ninja Turtle.
He kind of does. Yeah, actually he kind of does. That's true. That's hilarious. Just without the shell.
Exactly.
But yeah, dude, some of these dudes dress horrible. Horrible. And I was listening to someone the other day who was considered a fashion icon back in his day. I think it was Wilt. They were talking about how he was considered a fashion nameplate, and his suit was bad. His suit looked like it hadn't been updated since the early 80s.
I just find it funny how sometimes people, and this is not my ballpark at all, but it's just how I feel. How fashion people say, "This is how you look good," and then they look like a pile of crap, and it's like that's fashion.
That's
fashion. Yeah, this is fashion.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like the guy that I was listening to said, the cool thing about NBA players is that they can dress fashionably because they're all tall and they're all in good shape, so they're all basic models, right? There's a lot of ugly NBA players, so they're not really models, but they do try to do their own little fashion thing, and a lot of times it just doesn't work out.
They make their own statements.
Yeah, like Dwayne Wade a couple seasons ago in the playoffs showed up and they took a picture of his suit, and dude, he straight up had capris on.
I remember that.
Like, you're wearing a suit coat, button-up shirt, tie, and capris. You know how horrible that looks?
It's adorable.
It's so bad.
Now, real quick before we wrap this up and send it to commercial break, when's the next time you think we see Tiger Woods?
Oh, yeah, sorry, we're talking about Tiger.
You're okay. Well, we talked about it enough. It's okay to get off task because we've talked about Tiger so much the past couple weeks because he's...
I don't know, I'll say probably 2 months. Give him 2-3 months, he might be back.
I feel like if he does what's best for him, we probably don't see him until next year.
Maybe, we'll see.
Because he says he's not coming back till he feels
good.
We've seen that happen before where he says he'll sit out 2 or 3 months and say, I feel good. He starts practicing, I feel great, I'm hitting the ball well. And then once he hits the tournament, once he hits that first tee of that tournament, back to old Tiger Woods.
I'm extending the invitation right now. Tiger, in a couple of months, we'll be hitting our year anniversary. We're going to be having booze, strippers, and hookers.
I'm sure we can expand the budget, John. I'm sure we can expand the budget.
We'll get some Denny's for you.
Yeah.
Like, come on down. And once you get back in your element, you may play better.
Speaking of Denny's, last thing before we go to commercial break, this week I learned there is a Denny's in Las Vegas that you can actually get married at.
I'll take a Grand Slam and a bride, please.
I might have to go. Maybe that's how I'll do it. I'll go find a girl and I'll say, let's go to Denny's in Las Vegas and get married.
I mean, like
that would fit really good on the side of my if I'm living in my you live in one of those campers,
right?
Those really old,
okay,
moon
right.
campers. It'll fit really good on the wall.
Probably
my Denny's wedding photo.
That'd be interesting. There was a period of several years I didn't really eat at Denny's because they were going through this whole they didn't like minorities thing.
Oh,
and
that's always not good for business.
No, especially like on a Friday, Saturday night. You walk in there, there's a ton of minorities. But there was a couple of times where I'd walk into Denny's like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and there'd be white people in the lines behind me and my people who are all minorities, and the white people would get sat. Like they would literally point around us. Like, you guys back there with the blonde hair and the blue eyes got a seat for you. You caramel colored people, you're gonna have to wait. It was ridiculous.
It's interesting. We'll have to talk about that sometime. We'll put Denny's on black. Not right now though.
I think they've corrected the issue.
Well, if they have, then
or pretended to. I don't know.
Let's go to Denny's. We'll see if they have.
You're right.
We'll just walk in and Perez will just cause a stink and just punch the register off the counter and walk out.
Yeah, right.
That being said, this is the news you need to know.
Now you know it.
When we get back here on the Better Live Than Dead podcast, we'll be getting a Perez picked out bumper. Every bumper except for the hockey segment. The next bumper, I picked myself. Hockey themed bumper.
Okay.
The rest of them, Perez takes care of them for this week. Valentine's Day themed episode of the Better Live Than Dead podcast.
For all you ladies out there.
You say that kind of sexually, Perez. It's okay, whatever.
Well, it is Valentine's Day.
You let your voice get a little deeper than normal.
It's Valentine's Day.
When we get back here on the Better Live Than Dead podcast, hockey. And probably more Valentine's Day talk.
Well, are we doing... Normally the second segment is...
Second sexment? Were you about to say sexment?
Second segment is normally My Hello and Storytime.
It is.
Are we pushing out the third segment?
This is the second... You know what? I think... You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe we'll do that. Because I did it last week too, where I totally cut you off.
It's all good. I don't really care.
I'm going to do it this way. I want to do it that way because that way we can do the...
I'm used to a flow, man.
Well, we could do the hockey.
I was playing.
And then we could do hello, and we have all the music, and yeah, we'll do it that way.
It's cool with me. I'm just making sure.
We talked for 33 minutes here right now, so I'm always like, I always forget that we have to do hello and story time because we always go.
We're so long.
We now that we go long, we just go off.
Right. Oh, I got some stuff I want to go off about this week too.
Well, here.
Let's go to. You want to? Let's take a break.
No. Let's flip this. Let's flip this guitar pick here.
Well, no, I don't.
No. Well, if heads or tails, we'll do it right now. First time ever. Better Live Than Dead. We'll call it right on the spot. Heads. You call heads. Heads is the skull with the hat. Tails is the autograph. Okay.
Okay.
You call it in the air. If whatever you call lands, we do story time next. Okay.
Heads.
Tails. No, it's heads. We'll do story time next. I forgot when you flip it, you got to roll it over. It was tails, but it's heads. So when we come back, change of plans, people. Gonna say hello to some people, and then we got story time, Mr. Perez. When we get back. While you're listening to this podcast, make sure you follow us on social media. You can follow me at WolfSHC on Twitter. You can also follow Mr. Perez at MRLG Perez. Make sure to like the podcast on Facebook. That's facebook.com/BLTD podcast. And make sure to follow Gear Network on Twitter at GERE Network. This free and independent sportscast is made possible when you shop the Gear Network store through Amazon. Visit GearNetwork.com and click on the Amazon banner to shop through Amazon's thousands of products at great prices delivered right to your front door. Again, that's GearNetwork.com and click the Amazon banner at the top. Back here on the Better Live Than Dead podcast.
Welcome back, peoples.
Not echoing this time because
that's good.
As you know, his last segment, there's no. I put the Storytime bumper in, or not the story. I put the news bumper in.
Right.
Then I cut it off real quick because we went real long last segment, and the problem with this computer is that if you go too long, it just starts to echo, and that's just a pain in my pain in my ass.
I'm sorry, people.
We do apologize, but we like to talk.
We do.
We get going, and until I get like legit equipment,
right?
It's kind of a hit and miss thing. So
exactly.
Before we go to story time, who would you like to say hello to this week, Brett?
You know what? Today, being that it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to say hello to my lovely wife, Melinda Perez.
It's very thoughtful of you.
Well, you know, sometimes I'm thoughtful, and she is my wife.
It's very nice.
It is Valentine's Day.
It's very nice of you.
So, and you know, she's a gorgeous lady who somehow puts up with me.
I've never met her before, so I can't.
You never met my wife?
I've not.
Really?
No.
I have to rectify that situation.
Okay. I'll have to come over sometime.
All right, sounds good.
I'll just come over and I'll look at your moldy cigars.
Oh, see, you trying to get me amped up on that. All right.
Well, hey, with that being said, not gonna mess around. We're gonna go straight to story time.
Straight to story time.
Straight to story time.
Hit the bumper.
Gather round, kids. It's story time with Mr. Perez.
All right, so for story time, I'm gonna do a couple of things. One, I'm gonna tell you a story about me and my wife, and then I'm gonna go on a rant about something else because I'll get there. But anyway, so when I was saying hello, I said hello to my lovely wife, Melinda Perez, and there's a funny story. Well, maybe not funny. I guess in hindsight, I can look back and laugh at it. I thought it was funny. No one else really thought it was. When I was younger, I've known my wife for quite some time.
Okay.
And when I was younger, I was fooling around with one of her best friends, who coincidentally was also named Melinda. So Melinda hung out, made it real easy to keep the names simple because it was basically one name. But the other Melinda said to me one day, you know, you're really cocky. You think you could pretty much get any girl you want to. And I responded to her, well, I only think that because I proved that. Like, every time I go for a female, I get the female. Back in the day, I was in great shape. I was, as sexy as I am now, just in really good shape. So she said to me, I know someone that you will not be able to get. So I was like, okay, who? So she said, Melinda. So I was like, sure, I could try to go for Melinda. So we made a bet on if I could get Melinda to like me. Okay. So the bet was, I don't remember what the bet was. I think it was something sexual. I'll be honest with you. I think the bet was sexual in nature.
When is it not?
Right? So I started flirting with my wife, and we went out a couple of times and started going on dates. And lo and behold, I got Melinda to like me, but it backfired because I actually started to like Melinda also. And so I felt bad about the fact that me and this other Melinda had made a bet.
Yeah.
And so I told Melinda one day, listen, I need to tell you something. I'm really sorry about this, but the only reason I started to go after you in the first place was because me and this other Melinda, your best friend, made a bet saying that I couldn't get you to like me. And so, needless to say, she wasn't very happy about that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, me too. Now that I'm older, I can imagine. I told her, I said, listen, I'm sorry. I actually do like you. You're really cool peoples. Sorry I made that bet. Well, then Melinda didn't talk to me for quite some time. I'm talking probably 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
She didn't talk to me.
And we're talking that would be your wife?
Yes, my wife. The other Melinda, she didn't talk to me for just as long because, see,
you thought you had it going for you,
right?
And the next thing you know, you got nothing.
Here's the thing, though. The other Melinda, I thought it was just like a physical thing. I didn't realize she actually liked me. And lo and behold, she actually did. So she was mad because I ended up liking the other Melinda. And Melinda was my Melinda was mad because the other Melinda made me do a bet. And so it turned out to be a big, crap.
Well, like they always say, women, you can't live with them.
You can't live without
them. They can't pee standing up.
That's a true story.
Yes.
I mean, they probably could. I don't think you'd want to see it. It'd probably get messy.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
let's not get into that. Keep going.
Yeah. So that was basically my first foray with my wife. And then we didn't talk for years. And I just went on my merry way. I kept being a whore. And Melinda knows what I was like when I was younger. Yeah. And yet the second time when we reunited, it clicked. Ended up working out, obviously. I've been married going on 11 years now. April 3rd, it'll be 11 years.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And like I said, I don't know how she puts up with me because I can't be the easiest person to live with. I know this about me.
I mean, you're not the easiest person to podcast, so I can't imagine.
Right, exactly. Right. So I agree.
Hey, the only thing I had a problem with before was when you would say, "Hey, I'll be there at 10:30," and you show up at 1:30.
Well,
But now it's fine because you're like
Puerto Rican time, bro.
Now you text me at 10:25 saying, "Hey, you ready for me to be there?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm good." And then I hear your horn honk, and I'm like, "It's not even 10:30 yet, and you're already here."
Well,
it's all good.
I used to run a Puerto Rican time, so that's how we get down.
It's okay.
But like I said, I got something going on every Saturday morning now that I got to be at by a defined time. So, and it's like 2 minutes from here.
It works itself out.
Yeah, but
now do you want to talk about these cigars quick before we start to echo again?
Well, hold on. Well, I mean, if we have to pause and come back, we can do that. But I'm not done with my wife. Sorry. It's all good. It's still story time with my wife. My wife, this is Valentine's Day, so I'm going to say a little something,
Okay.
My wife is an amazing person. She has, a couple years into being married, she decided to go back to school. She went to MCC, Monroe Community College, got her associates. She won several awards while she was at MCC, including having a 4.0 GPA the entire time she was there.
Wow.
She then went to St. John Fisher, where she got her bachelor's in accounting, and then she went back to St. John Fisher, got her master's and her CPA the same year.
Seems like a pretty smart lady.
Very smart, very driven. She's done incredible things over the last several years. And she's done all of this while putting up with me. So it makes it even more amazing.
And that's like a part-time job.
Oh my God, it has to be a part-time job. So I'm not going to lie. I'm a kept dude. I'm a kept dude. She does stuff for me, and I do stuff for her, obviously. But she puts up with me. I'm not going anywhere. I've had a series of illnesses with my familial lymphedema, and she takes care of me, and with some of the stuff that happens, I can't see anyone else being willing to do what she does. So I'm a lucky individual. I went from being a whore to settling down and then realizing how lucky I was. Yeah. So because it's Valentine's Day, baby, I know you probably don't listen to the podcast. I've never asked you to. You might. But if you happen to listen to this one, I love you. Thanks for giving me great 11 years. And here's to, more. So that's my story, man.
Oh, I got you.
Figured I'd,
story.
It's Valentine's Day.
Good use of your time on a podcast.
Hey, Valentine's Day. Got to give props to, who I got to give props to. I won't be drinking alcohol and playing video games tonight. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You always got to talk crap about me, man. I'm just trying to enjoy my weekend, man. It's been a long week, and I'm just trying to enjoy my weekend.
Man, I'm just playing with you, bro.
Because if I'm going to be stuck in a house,
right.
I want to enjoy it.
I completely understand.
I want to win a Masters 7 times in a row.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
I'm going to make my golfer better than everybody.
Right.
And I'm probably listen to a lot of music or something. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just going to hang out and enjoy myself.
So
right now, what I'm going to do
go ahead.
Is I'm going to insert something here. I don't know what.
Okay.
Some noise.
All right.
Just because I'm going to stop and restart. Just because I don't want to
get the echo like we did in the last segment.
I don't want to echo. Because I'm kind of freaked out about it now, and I don't want to ruin a podcast. So
understandable.
Enjoy whatever is about to play, because I don't know what it is yet. And I'll be right back with Storytime
Part 2.
Part 2 of Mr. Perez. Storytime. Except angry time with Mr. Perez.
Yes.
I feel like now we need like an angry, like dark music playing in the background, like some really old shady piano and
Right. That'd be awesome.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, Perez, there is an ongoing misunderstanding on your Instagram account regarding a photo you posted.
Yes.
That people are alleging that you're smoking or attempting to smoke moldy cigars.
Yeah, so here's the deal, okay? When cigars are... Most cigar wrappers, if they're a good wrapper, tend to have a high oil content, okay? And when they age, what happens is the oil itself will excrete a film that's called bloom or plume. And if you don't know any better, it kind of looks like mold. It's kind of whispery.
Which honestly is what I thought when I saw
was.
it. But
Right.
when I realized, I'm like, I know Perez will probably explain, or I can just ask him.
Right.
I was going to ask you.
Right. See, now I've been smoking cigars for 20 some odd years, okay? And I've studied the art of the cigar. I love cigars. I'm immersed in that culture. But here's the problem. Nowadays, you got a bunch of people who smoke a couple of cigars and read a trade magazine and think they're freaking experts, okay? So I think I have currently like 50 some odd comments on this one picture that I posted, which if you want to take a look at it, my Instagram is MRLG Perez, Mr. LG Perez on Instagram. Feel free to follow me. And it's bloom. I picked the cigars up when I saw them. I felt them. It's bloom. So I took a picture of it and said, hey, these cigars are aging nicely. And people lost their bloody minds telling me that it was mold. And I said, for instance, John, he made a couple comments on the picture. And I sent him pictures of moldy cigars. And these cigars don't look anything like the moldy cigars. But then someone else commented and said that she posted a picture of some cigars that had bloom on it and then took it down because of the backlash. Here's the deal, people. I don't know when it became acceptable to bully people because of a picture that they posted. Some people left some fine comments like, sorry, bro, that is mold. And then other people were like, you're basically a freaking idiot. That's mold. You're going to be sick, blah, blah, blah. I know cigars. I would not smoke a moldy cigar. Bloom, you can literally take the bloom and rub it right back into the oils of the right back into the leaf of the cigar, and the cigar looks normal. That's what happened with these cigars. I smoked one. It was fine.
And he's not dead yet.
Right. And the one dude was like, oh, you're going to be sick tomorrow. No, I'm not, because I know the difference between bloom and mold.
Well, I was going to say, I just found a photo, and I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking that you're quite correct on your assumption. Not your assumption, but what you gather.
Right.
On the cigar, that it is bloom.
Yeah. You know, like bloom, it's mold has legit like legs that come out of it, right? And these cigars did not have that. It's whispery, which is what bloom looks like. So, you know, all these people were like, and then one dude was like, you left a comment on my post and was like, Mr. Perez, a true expert of the industry, as you stated you are, is always open to education through experience. First of all, never claim to be a true expert, because really when it comes to tobacco or cigars, you're never a true expert. Unless you're like my master roller at the shop. He's a true expert. He's been doing it for 50 plus years. You could hand him a cigar, not tell him what it is, and he'll break down the content for you. He'll be able to tell you like what region the tobacco was grown in. It's ridiculous. But I never said I was a what?
That is pretty crazy.
It is. Never said I was a true expert. I just happen to say I know cigars, which I do. I consider myself an aficionado, because I've been smoking cigars for 20 some odd years. I've probably been smoking cigars longer than some of these people who are commenting on my picture have been alive.
Well, I've been alive for 23 years, so you're pretty close.
Absolutely.
Pretty close.
So, you know, these people just kind of got on my nerves last night. And I think when I start my podcast, there's one thing I'm going to talk about is people trying to like bully you over some cigars. We're talking about cigars, people. Cigars.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Cigars. And I know the difference. And so,
I trust your opinion.
have I ever led you astray?
Nope.
Exactly.
Never.
So
I don't smoke cigars often, but when I do, Perez is the guy I go to.
John made a funny comment on there. He said that I know that I've forgotten more about cigars than most people know.
That's probably right. Yeah,
and that's probably right. But I used to say that about a guy that used to work at Dewey Ave Smoke Shop named John. Mm-hmm. I would go into Dewey Ave Smoke Shop a couple of times a week, and I would sit and just talk with John because that dude legit had forgotten more than I know now, and I know a ton. And so I've sat with legit experts of the industry and gleaned from their wisdom, which a lot of these people who are commenting haven't done. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just because you follow some experts on Instagram don't make you an expert.
That's true.
And
just because you take slutty pictures of yourself, put them on Instagram, doesn't make you a model.
That's right. And I've actually sat down and had conversations with owners, with master rollers, like I know cigars.
Yeah, you put the time in, you're passionate about it.
Yeah. And so these people, like with the first 20 comments, I was like, whatever, it's cool. And then this other person posted a comment how she had posted a picture with Bloom and how she pulled it down because of all the hate she got. Like, why are you giving people hate?
Exactly.
Like, why are you giving people hate? I don't go through your pictures and be like, yo, your girl's ugly, dude. You should get a new girl. Like,
maybe you should.
Maybe I should start doing it. But this last dude who got real sarcastic with me, like, dude, shut up. Like, you.
A lot of people have keyboard muscles.
Yeah, right.
And they get behind. They're behind. They know you can't do anything to them because if they saw you
in real life,
they're probably like, dude, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. It's
right,
Bloom.
You're right. Yep.
So, but here's the thing: the cigar company who made these cigars, I tagged them in the photo.
Yeah,
and they liked the photo. So that right there,
I guess that's a confirmation you needed, Perez.
Yeah, that's all the justification I need. So go ahead and talk your little junk. The company who made the cigars liked the photo. And then one of the dudes who was talking junk tagged a bunch of people that work at the company, and they've said nothing because they've already liked the photo.
Did you hear that? That's the microphone dropping and hitting the floor.
Right, exactly. So that's my rant.
Very good story time. Story time with 2 parts this week with an interesting intermission, whatever it ends up being. I'll have to go back and do that in post. But apparently this week my computer just doesn't want to cooperate so much. It's okay. We adjust on the fly. That's why we're good at what we do.
That's right.
Allegedly. With that being said, it's story time.
As a matter of fact, hold on a second. Just now,
breaking news, people.
One of the guys who works at the company, another guy who works at the company. Okay, this is my ultimate justification right here.
Okay,
one of the guys was talking junk about. He tagged one of the guys who works at this company and told him to drop knowledge. The company as a whole already liked the photo, but one of the guys that he said drop knowledge on this guy to liked the photo. He didn't say anything bad.
I think you're right, Perez.
He liked the photo. That's all the justification I need right there. Suck a nut.
You may not be an expert, but you certainly know a hell of a lot about it.
Right.
Like, I don't consider myself a sports expert, or you a sports expert, but you know what? If you sit down and have a conversation with us, you might be like, hey, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I talk to you about cigars. I don't know what half of it means, but the fact that you know all this stuff and you can just throw all this stuff out, I almost swore there.
It's all good.
I stopped myself.
You said ass earlier.
That's not a swear word.
How's that not a swear word?
Ass is not a swear word.
Technically, it's a swear word.
It's not. That's like saying hell is a swear word.
Technically, that's a swear word too.
You are... You're something else, Perez.
I'm just saying.
You are something else.
That's a true story.
Trying to correct me.
It's all good.
We're going to head a commercial break.
All right, peoples.
When we get back, we'll talk hockey, I promise.
That's right.
We won't have to flip a coin this time.
That's right.
If I just follow I write down the list of what we're going to do in the podcast. If I just follow that on my paper in front of me, things will go a lot more smooth.
It's all good.
We're going to come back, talk Buffalo Sabres.
Where's the fun in that? Not talking Buffalo Sabres.
There is
following
fun
following the outline.
Well, I try to because I want to try to keep the podcast normal.
I understand.
Because if not, we'll talk about vajankles all the time.
That's right.
So, listen to these commercial breaks. When we get back, more of the Better Live Than Dead podcast for your listening pleasure. Perez, I must ask you.
What ask me?
How did you do this year in fantasy football?
Man, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, guess what?
I don't want to talk about it, man.
I've got good news for you.
What?
FanDuel
Yes.
allows you to win all that money back that you lost
That's good because I lost a lot of money.
in fantasy football. But here's the catch.
What's the catch?
Fantasy hockey, fantasy basketball, 1 week leagues.
That doesn't sound like a catch to me.
You can win a lot of money.
I like that.
Just like you did with the fantasy football on FanDuel, you can win it with hockey, with basketball. Check it out, GearNetwork.com/FanDuel. You get the money on FanDuel. You help us out over at the Gear Network. We get money, you get money. Everybody's happy, and Perez is happy because he won all that money back from
I'll be real happy with that.
fantasy football, which he lost because, well, Perez is really bad at fantasy football.
Oh, man, don't even talk about it.
John Cimino here, a.k.a. JC Money, inviting you all of you listeners to join us on the Gear Radio Network once a week for Get Ready America, where JC and DC, the executive producer, my co-host Don Cimino, will be talking news, sports, whatever comes to our mind. It's a variety show that goes all over the place. It's awesome. You should check it out on Gear Network every week.
Time to talk the National Hockey League.
The NHL.
First time, long time. I'll hang up and listen.
Well, I think it's the second time we've talked, legit talked.
It's the first time. So it's the first time in a long time. But
Yes.
the NFL has dominated for a long time. The NFL usually takes up one of these segments, but we're not talking football till free agency. So let's talk about some hockey. The Buffalo.
Hockey?
Hey, I'm going to take a word out of your vocabulary, Perez. So please let me get through this sentence. The
No
Buffalo
problem.
Sabres say "poppycock" to your trade deadline. I try to do an impression of you there.
That's all right.
But I even put it, see if you look, I even put it in parentheses because I'm directly quoting you.
That's hilarious.
I had to use your words because I couldn't think of anything.
I've said poppycock?
Yeah. You said it a bunch of times.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Whatever you say, instead of saying like something's ridiculous, you just say poppycock. It's funny.
I recall saying it like maybe once or twice.
A couple times.
Okay.
At least.
Cool.
On Wednesday, the Buffalo Sabres made two large deals. The second deal, not so big, but the first deal was big enough to make both of them large.
Right.
The second deal we're going to talk about first real quick. Jonas Enroth goes to the Dallas Stars for Anders Lindback and a conditional third-round pick. It can be a second-round pick if Enroth wins 4 playoff games. That just seems like a team called at the right time and said, look, we'll give you what you want. I mean, Lindback is a big goaltender, which Sabres general manager Tim Murray does like. He's 6'6", but the numbers he's posted this season,
That's a tall dude.
not very good.
No.
He's one of the worst save percentages in the league. One of the he's allowing over 3 goals a game. I think he's 2-8-0 in 10 appearances. Not good for business there.
No, that's not that good.
The big deal of the day. The Buffalo Sabres send Tyler Myers, Drew Stafford, Joel Armia, Brendan Lemieux, and the lowest of their two first-round picks, either the Blues or the Islanders, because they're obviously keeping theirs. So whichever pick is later in the round, the Jets will get. And from the Jets, the Buffalo Sabres acquire Evander Kane, Zach Bogosian, and Jason Kasdorf, an unsigned goaltender who currently plays for RPI. Now,
That's a lot of people involved in that trade.
that's a lot of people moving, yeah. Now on the Sabre side of things, they've been discussing deals with Myers, not openly discussing, but if you call and offer something interesting, he'll listen.
Right.
Tim Murray will listen, and it's no secret he likes Bogosian, he likes Kane, he's liked Kane for a long time. So when they called and said, well, if you want Kane, give us Myers, and we'll then the deal started to go from there. So essentially, the way it looks is Bogosian and Myers is a 1-for-1, and then you're trading Stafford, Armia, Lemieux, and a first for Kane and Kasdorf.
Okay.
It's a very bold move by Tim Murray because Kane is out for the rest of the year. He tore his labrum, has a jacked up foot and a messed up hand, so he'll heal in the offseason. But the kid's 23 years old and he's scored over 100 goals. He's got 222 points in over 300 games.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not very often you can get a guy of his talent.
Right.
So, like I said, it's a bold move for Tim Murray, who's looking to make his team put his imprint on this organization, and he has. I mean, you trade two of the longest tenured Sabres, two prospects. You know, it's not every day a deal like this happens. I mean, some people are calling it a blockbuster. Some people say, can it really be a blockbuster when there's not that much superstardom happening?
Right.
But Stafford is Stafford, Myers is Myers, and Kane is, you know, with Stafford Myers, you get guys that are good NHL players. Kane is a superstar.
True.
I mean, that's just what I think. And Bogosian is a good NHL player. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's only 2 weeks to the deadline, which
it's coming up quick.
I'll be at the arena on deadline day actually for Sabres Hockey Central. You want to check it out? My Twitter, WolfSHC. I'll be there live tweeting whatever's left to happen on deadline day. Because right now there's, you know, the two of the biggest dominoes fell.
It's true.
And the thing about it too is, a lot of people are getting a little pissy because the Sabres are trying to finish last. There's no secret.
Right.
So what do? They trade two good NHLers for two good NHLers in their own right.
Right.
But the one who scores the goals and will probably help you win games is not going to play till next year.
Right.
And they knew that before they got him.
Yeah, well,
He, like I said, torn labrum, 4 to 6 months. He'll be back.
Right.
In time for camp. Should be able to play regular season, no problem. It's funny because, you know, the Sabres have been bad. They still are bad, but they're trying to ensure. Because I mean, it's no secret. Edmonton's falling apart again.
Yes.
Toronto has lost a bunch. Something like they're 4-17 in their last however many games.
Not a good record.
Not at all, no. And Arizona's bad. So Buffalo's just trying to ensure that they complete the rebuild.
Right.
Or complete the tanking, the tanking part of the rebuild.
The tank job.
Yeah, if you will. By ensuring they finish 30th so they get McDavid or Reichel, which obviously we'll talk more about those two in the future. But Tim Murray said at his press conference following the deals, when asked if there was any more trades coming, the quote was, he's going to get value for any pending unrestricted free agent who isn't part of the future. And at the moment, there are 6 guys, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 guys. Torrey Mitchell, Patrick Coletta, Andre Mazzaros, Tyson Strachan, Andre Benoit, and Chris Stewart.
So there's a possibility that more trades are coming.
Absolutely. I mean, even if you get a low round pick for him,
right,
you're still getting something for the guy. I mean, even if it's a 6th or 7th, you can still turn that around to another body.
Right.
Clear a spot for a guy who can come up from Rochester and play for you.
Exactly.
It's the time of year now where you're trying to find out who you've got and what you've got for the future. And right now, I mean, the Sabres aren't going to be very good.
No.
They haven't been good. They're
Right.
not going to be good. They probably won't be good till next year, maybe even the year after. But
well, yeah, you got to let those young guys get used to playing with each other and gel. And
well, you just got to get them used to the NHL type of hockey, because you go from the AHL to the NHL, it's a step.
Exactly.
And there's guys in the AHL right now that are ready to. Do you think they're ready to take the step to the NHL? They go to the NHL and they're
right.
Okay, yeah, I played 5 or 6 games. We can tell you have a hole here. Go back, work on it, and you'll be back. We promise. So stuff like that you'll be seeing happening. I'll be, like I said, I'll be running SabresHockeyCentral.com, the Facebook page, their Twitter page, their Instagram page. Keep myself always busy.
Right.
I took the day off of work because last year I didn't. Last year I was in Buffalo till about 5. Had to rush back to Brockport and work 6 to 11, and then ended up doing hockey work from like 6 till 11. Then drove home. Then did hockey work from like 11:30 until 2:30. So take the day off. Be smart about it.
No doubt.
Go get some beers afterwards.
Absolutely.
At 716.
Okay.
It's a nice place.
I don't think I've been to 716.
You said a couple weeks ago you did.
No, I've been to 911.
What's that?
It's a bar.
Where at?
I don't remember the name of the street, but the number is 911.
Okay.
Best chicken wings on the planet.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say 716. If you get a chance next time you go to Buffalo, check it out. They've got a 37-foot projection screen, nice bar, It's a great setup.
Have I been there? I don't think I've been there.
We're outside the arena.
You know what? I think I have been there then. I don't remember.
We're outside First Niagara Center.
I think I have been there. Maybe not.
It's one of those places.
I've been close to it.
You'll walk in there and you'll be like, yeah, I've been here before.
You would think I would remember, though. But I've been so many places, sometimes I don't remember.
Exactly. That happens.
Yeah.
That happens, man. But for Sabres fans, yeah, be mad because the team's going to be bad. But, hey, you know what? They're doing what they can because there's not that much talent on this team, and that's evident. But expect...
Good job. You suck.
Yeah, expect good things to happen coming up shortly, starting with the deadline. Names will be moved. I don't think Evander Kane will be coming back. Another Evander Kane will be coming to Buffalo, but maybe they'll be able to do that in the offseason. Because the one thing I want to point out before we move on to a commercial break, the Canadian dollar is falling, so the salary cap may not go up. So there's going to be some teams that are strapped for cash coming into this offseason. The Buffalo Sabres have prospects and picks.
Right.
The Buffalo Sabres may be able to swing another Evander Kane-esque deal where they get a very talented top six forward.
It's possible.
Because another team has to drop a guy. And it's happened before. Like the Blackhawks, like I said, the first time the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup, I said this a couple of podcasts ago, I know that, but the first time they won the Cup, they had to then rebuild their team on the fly because they were at the cap ceiling and had to pay a bunch of young guys and weren't letting those young guys walk. So you might see that happen, and it might make for an interesting June and July, but it's February right now, so
no doubt.
We're looking forward to the deadline. I'm all about hockey on Twitter, so like I said, follow me, WolfSHC, and ask any questions you want. I'm usually good about answering them, so if not, I push you in the right direction. So that being said, this has been some hockey talk.
I would like to say hi to Melinda.
Hello.
My wife.
Hello.
What's up, baby?
Mr. Perez's wife, lady I've never met. Soon.
Yeah, we'll have to rectify that, like I said.
I feel like I have like this shooting pain in my thumb right now. Like I feel like an arthritic pain. It's very weird.
That is kind of weird. You're not having a heart attack, Robbie, are you?
No.
Stroke?
Not having a stroke, no.
Okay.
But we are having a commercial break.
Okay.
Seamless.
Good job,
Best
bro.
in the business.
Exactly.
When we get back, we're going to talk some Major League Baseball. Some of Rob Manfred's suggestions are gaining traction. Some of the good ones, though. Not the bad ones. The good suggestions gaining traction. We may see some positive changes in the Major League Baseball coming soon. You want to know what it is? You're going to have to stick around and find out.
Yeah, come back, peoples.
More of the Better Alive Than Dead podcast. I don't know what that was right there. More of the Better Alive Than Dead podcast. There we go. After these commercial breaks. Do you enjoy listening to Better Alive Than Dead, but you're not always by your laptop to hear it on GearNetwork.com? Not to worry, we've got you covered. Better Alive Than Dead and all other Gear Network podcasts can now be heard on iHeartRadio, iTunes, in the Zune Marketplace, on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher Radio, and on TuneIn Radio. So make sure you get one of the aforementioned apps to stay up to date with the latest Gear Network podcasts.
A successful product does not become a successful product on its own. Look at the Gear Radio Network, for example. We're a prime example. We had a lot of help getting here, and we can help you get where you want to go to. Advertising rates are very low to start off here on the Gear Radio Network. Visit us at gearnetwork.com. Click on the contact link to send us an email, and we can work out the details. Again, advertise your product across all of the forums at a low, low rate here on the Gear Radio Network.
Back here, Better Alive Than Dead podcast. Something I just said before we came back on the air. Shower beers. They are the best.
You know what? I can honestly say
it's a white person thing.
I don't think I've ever had a beer while taking a shower.
It's very relaxing because the hot water, you're very relaxed. You're drinking a beer and it just goes down. It literally goes down like water. So it doesn't matter what you're drinking. It's just you're just like, this is
right.
It's like sit outside a hot summer day and you're like, I'm thirsty. Is all hell.
Get yourself cold beer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Talking Major League Baseball now.
Well, hold on a second. Before we get to Major League Baseball.
Sorry.
It's all good. Before we get to Major League Baseball, you were talking about going to get some Sam Adams.
Yes.
I'm telling you, bro, grab the cherry wheat.
I'll give it a shot. If I can buy individual ones, I'll go out and grab one.
Cherry wheat is phenomenal.
Because I know Sam Adams 6-packs are
like $8.
Well, yeah, I don't want to spend $8 though. Because I'm going to go buy vodka and Orange juice. Excuse
What
me.
kind of vodka you buying?
Price Vodka.
That's not bad.
Is that I was saying because I know you can't chintz out on it. You gotta, if you want it to taste good, you gotta spend a few bucks. And
Yeah.
I don't know how much it's gonna cost, but I had some at Eric's house.
No, Svedka's not horribly expensive.
There was some in the fridge to it here, and I had some, and I'm like, it's one of those things where you start to drink it, and you're like, oh, this isn't strong enough.
Right.
And then you have 2 or 3, and you're like, yeah, that's fine.
Now, if you want some really good vodka,
Okay.
and you don't mind paying a little more, not a ton more, grab yourself some Belvedere.
Okay.
Belvedere is stupid smooth and really freaking good.
Well, if it's in the price range, I will pick it up because I'm.
And I think there's a company in Rochester called Hometown Brews.
Yeah.
I think they make a vodka too that's pretty good. Their rum is awesome.
So that's the thing. I like the stuff you drink. I know it's vodka's vodka, but I like the day that you married Eric and Jess, the stuff you had. I mean, I like liquor, and I like stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
the Lash. That stuff was awesome.
That stuff was. That'll put some hair on your chest.
I love the Lash, bro. That's probably one of my favorite rums. Spiced rum.
Well, I'm not a fan of rum though.
I love rum.
But I took a sip of that and I'm like, ugh.
Dude, I'm like Jack Sparrow from like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm like, but why's the rum gone? Like, love rum.
Well, that's good. That's good. I want to talk real quick about this first thing, and then we'll move on to Rob Manfred's suggestions.
Okay.
Because this also involves Rob Manfred. It's a very commissioner-esque MLB segment this week. Pete Rose says he'd love to meet with the new commissioner. Says, quote, I'll always have hope. Just let the writers decide if they want me in. I'm in. If they don't feel I should be in, I can live with it.
He should be in.
He should be. It seems like it's to the point in time now where he's waving the white flag. You know, if I think he's like 73 now.
Yeah.
If they want him in, put him in. If they don't vote for him.
He's got that commercial for Skechers
That's
where he's in the hallway in his house. That's hilarious.
And his young Asian wife, get out of the hall.
Yes. He's like, even at home?
Rob Manfred said, quote, there will come a point in time, end quote, when he decides to answer that question, but obviously now is not the time. It was asked at when they announced the 2017 All-Star Game for Miami. But it's gaining traction. People want an answer because it's the hot topic in baseball. It's going to be the hot topic always until it's answered. Until we get an answer, it's going to be the hot topic.
Right.
But I mean, it's the underlying question that we're always going to hear. Like I said, until it's answered, every year the Hall of Fame comes out, we're going to say, when's Pete Rose going in?
Right.
And if the writers believe Pete Rose does not belong in the Hall of Fame, they won't vote for him.
That's true.
But if they can separate, in which they should be able to separate on field from off field. I mean, I understand you're putting him on field, you're putting him in the Hall of Fame as a player.
Right.
As a player, never bet on baseball. Was one of the greatest hitters of all time, if not the greatest hitter of all time. He has the most hits, but it's debatable if he was the greatest. But he was one of the greatest ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Then he became a coach. He's not going in the Hall of Fame as a coach. He bet on baseball as a coach, made terrible life decisions, and that should be. I'm a fan of saying Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. Put on his plaque that he was banished from baseball for X amount of years for betting on baseball.
Right.
Tarnish the legacy if you want to. Make it a teachable moment, like steroids. If you put Barry Bonds in, say you can't put on there that he failed the drug test because he never did.
He never did.
But you say you educate the fans. Say this is where baseball was when he played.
Right.
Say Pete Rose bet on baseball. Educate the fans. Let them know. Let them learn about it. Because if you educate the fans, they're probably going to be more accepting.
Right.
Because there's a lot of different stories out there.
Exactly.
If you get the truth and just say this is what happened, moving on, we've accepted that, we've forgiven him, he's never going to be in baseball again. He won't be a GM, won't be a coach, nothing.
Right.
But, it is what
I just think it's a shame because while it's true he bet on baseball, which is obviously a no-no when you're involved in baseball, he never actually bet on his own team.
Allegedly, because sometimes he said when he was the manager he did bet against his team, but he said he never bet them to lose.
Right.
I believe was what he said. So it's a bunch of he said, she said,
Right.
Moving over to the next
I thought he had never had, so that's my bad.
It's okay. Moving over to the next thing. Like I said, it's a lot of... you have to educate people, clearly. Because I'm thinking one thing, you're thinking another thing.
Yeah.
Educate the fans.
Put him in there.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Put him in the hall.
Now, as you mentioned,
So he doesn't get kicked out of his own home hallway, at least.
Exactly.
I mean, he's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
That's impressive.
Why can't you put him in the the MLB Hall of Fame?
Maybe the NFL Hall of Fame too, perhaps.
Well, I didn't know we'll say the NFL.
I'm just messing with you. Speaking of Rob Manfred, a couple of his suggestions are gaining traction. One of them being making the strike zone smaller. Now, this is very interesting because some smart people have done some research. First off, the change would come as early as 2016. Runs per game are down to 4.07 runs per game in 2014, the lowest since 1981, the 13th lowest season since World War II.
Okay.
According to Hardball Times, John, I apologize. I'm going to butcher this name. When I saw it last night, I knew I was going to butcher it. I think it's Rogel. It's Roegele. I'm going to just say John Rogel. If it's wrong,
Rogeli. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's going to be Rogel.
I've done that before, and
right.
It's just...
They get back to you like, that's not how you pronounce my name.
John Rogel. He says the average zone size since 2009 has increased from 435 square inches to 475 square inches. So the umpires have gotten a little lackadaisical with that. He estimates that 31% of the offensive drought could be zone-related. Obviously, umpires have become more gracious with calls, forcing hitters' hand. So if you see a low ball, right. I know that's going to be called a strike. When it's not, I got to swing at it. You swing and miss. Strike 3, you're out, whatever. But the other interesting thing to point out, strikeouts are at an all-time high. Strikeout rates are at an all-time high, at least. Coupled with historically low walk rates.
Well, yeah, I believe it because, I mean, this past year alone, I saw a whole bunch of called strikes where the ball was nowhere inside the zone.
They're saying the strike zone's getting skinnier but taller.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Leave the strike zone where it was. Get it back to knee, chest, keep the same width.
Yeah.
I mean, stop being so generous with the calls.
Well, and with the young crop of hitting talent coming up, and really, I mean, it's like hitters are the quarterbacks of baseball teams.
Right. But
if guys are hitting home runs,
right,
people are going to tune in.
Yeah.
If quarterbacks throwing touchdowns, people are going to tune in.
Right.
If quarterbacks are getting sacked every snap or guys are striking out every at bat, people don't care as much.
I still like watching that though. I tune into baseball because I love it.
I could watch a pitcher's duel. I could watch a.
Oh, absolutely. I think those games are exciting.
A home run fest.
Yeah, I like that too. But
there's 162 games per team. You're going to get every type of game
exactly
at least once a season.
But like I said, I mean, I also saw where it was obviously a strike and they're calling the ball.
Yeah,
like I think there's something going on with the rumps, not the rumps.
It's Valentine's Day, people.
Not the butts.
Perez's head is in the gutter.
Yeah, always in the gutter. What are you talking about? Not just Valentine's Day, but I think the umps need to be maybe retrained or properly trained.
I feel like they
or
just
told that if they don't follow a certain criteria, that there will be consequences.
Well, it's like the NFL. They have the zone. They map all the pitches, and then after the game, they rate the umpires, all that stuff. But
right.
I feel like you said, just fix the strike zone.
Yeah.
If that's the first step. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the answer.
You know what? Hire me to take a bat and hit some umpires' kneecaps. That'll cure some stuff up real quick.
They will, yeah.
Like you got a D on the games today. You get one whack.
You get one whack in the D.
Right, exactly.
It'll solve the problem real fast.
Right.
But you got a lot of fireballers these days that are painting. That's all they do. They just paint. They paint the corners, paint the bottom of the strike zone. And if you're good at it, why not do it?
Right. But so don't give the guys calls.
Don't give them an advantage.
Right.
Because
make the people swing for it.
They've already got Aroldis Chapman already has an advantage pitching in the ninth inning with a 105-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah. Don't tell him if he throws it exactly at the knees where it's not right under the knees, not a strike, but you're going to call it every time. How am I supposed to hit a ball under my knees?
Right.
That's a borderline. You're going to give it to him.
You're not going to take a windmill swing at every ball.
Exactly. Don't give the pitchers an advantage they already have.
Right. That's stupid.
I'm just ready for baseball, man. Like just now, just talking in general. I mean, it's.
I'm looking forward to it.
Valentine's Day pitchers and catchers report next week.
The only thing I don't know is the last several years for my birthday, I've been going to a Yankees game every year.
Yeah.
This year, I'm not sure when I'm going to go. Because the day after my birthday, one of my good friends is actually getting married, so I'm staying here for the wedding. I
think
I got to figure out when I'm going to go.
Yeah, I think I might end up in Boston to go. I don't know if I'm going to end up in Boston for a game this year because I actually think I'm going to go see the Foo Fighters at Fenway Park.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they're not coming around here.
Right.
They're coming closest is Toronto, so if I'm going to drive 4 hours, why not drive 8 hours and go see them at Fenway Park? Because it seems like an experience.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, one of the things me and my wife was talking about is that we don't always have to go to Yankee Stadium.
Absolutely.
I want to see the Yankees, obviously, but we were talking about possibly going to Boston this year.
That would be cool. It's seriously gorgeous stadium. It's even being a Yankees. I'm sure when you walk in, you'll be whatever this is garbage, but it's breathtaking.
Well, I'm not going to wear my Yankees gear.
That's a good idea.
So
that's a good idea. Yeah.
I don't walk into enemy territory. Like, if I was a Blood, I'm not walking into the Crips wearing straight up red. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to put a target on your back.
No.
But it's an experience for sure. But
I'm sure it is.
It's a gorgeous stadium. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pittsburgh's great. I think I'm going to go to Cleveland this year.
We almost went to Pittsburgh a couple times last summer, and something just happened.
I was going to go to Pittsburgh last September, and I just didn't have the cash.
Right.
But I want to try to hit Toronto. I've been to Toronto, seen the Dome. Never been to a game there.
I've been to a game there. So it's been a while, but I've been to a game. I
want to try to hit it. I don't care if it's a Red Sox game. I just want to hit a game in Toronto.
No doubt.
But the one place I want to go to is Seattle. I don't know why. I just want to go to Seattle. Like, just to go to the stadium, but I just want to go see Seattle.
You like rain?
Just a random place. I don't know. And San Diego, too. That would be nice.
Yeah, San Diego, I hear, is gorgeous.
Well, gorgeous women, gorgeous weather.
Right.
Nice looking stadium.
It's expensive, but I hear it's gorgeous.
It's worth it.
But it's on the left coast. Everything on the left coast is expensive.
Absolutely.
So, kind of annoying.
We're going to have a baseball podcast sometime soon, just straight up talking about
baseball.
Everything. Well, you've got all the deals that have happened in the offseason, trades, potential trades. Our trusty predictions that we're always spot on about.
Right.
Like me picking the Saints to win the Super Bowl over the Seahawks.
That was awesome.
That was terrible.
Happens.
It is what it is. We should go back. I should go back in my notebook and see how those predictions worked out and do a blog on a podcast website on gearnetwork.com.
I had picked the Seahawks to get to the Super Bowl.
I almost did, yeah. And then later in the season, though, mid-season, I did predict the Patriots Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's good. At least I think I did.
You did. No, we both talked about that. I was still on the Dallas thing, but realistically, I knew Seahawks was probably going to go.
Oh my God!
Dallas got screwed.
It's okay, Perez. Just get over it. Just get over it.
I'm a Cowboys fan. It's hard to get over it. It's all good.
I think I need to get a new jersey for my room. I was just thinking about that. I need to get a new autographed jersey for the den.
No doubt. I'll go get a jersey, put my name on it, autograph it for you, you hang it up.
Maybe someday we'll be famous enough where we can just send our autograph to people and be like, yeah.
There you go. That'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool. We're trailing off now. I was going to send it to commercial and then come back and then close things up.
You just want to close things up?
Well, I think so, because we're running almost an hour 20 just talking without commercials and everything. So
crap.
Yeah, we done well today.
Yeah, no doubt.
Did do good.
Well, let's just close it up then. So once again, I would like to say hi to my wife, Melinda Perez. What's up, baby? I love you.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there.
To all you beautiful women.
To all the beautiful women. I'm going to go spend Valentine's Day with myself. What? Nothing wrong with that, dog.
No, I agree with you. It was just the way you said it.
Yeah.
So,
I got to go shopping after this because we got a winter storm death outside.
That's what they say.
So thank you, everybody.
I hear tomorrow's supposed to be real bad, though.
Real cold and windy, yeah. That's why I'm getting a game today, so I could sit inside tomorrow and do nothing.
I don't blame you.
Just shower and sit around all day.
I don't blame you.
I want to say thank you to
Canada.
Thank you, Perez, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. You're always welcome here.
Yes.
Until you're not, which I don't think I'll ever be.
Well, then it won't be the
podcast won't be the podcast.
Exactly.
I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you tuning in today on the internet land.
We appreciate it.
iTunes, iPad, Zune, Samsung, whatever things you listen to us on, PS3, Xbox, tablet, phone, computer. I probably said them all by now, but thank you for tuning in.
We appreciate it, like I said.
Absolutely. I guess we got nothing else to say.
Thanks to John and Dawn.
Yes, thanks to John and Dawn. I was going to say listen to Get Ready America. You should already be listening to Get Ready America. I got to catch up on the last episode, actually. I was supposed to listen to it yesterday, but...
Did it?
I didn't.
Slacker.
Yeah. I was busy, man.
I got to listen to it.
I was busy at work. I had a bunch of teenagers running around like a bunch of...
I got a cigar right here. Assholes. When I get in the car, I think I'll clip it, light it up. Maybe I'll put it on, listen to it as I drive around for a couple minutes.
Sounds good. I dare you. Double fire in the barnyard, dog, dare you, dog. Now you got to do it. Thank you, John and Dawn. They're executive producers. We gotta say thank you.
Right, exactly. That's why I said thank you. When you were like, I don't think there's anyone else. Like John and Dawn, I can't forget them.
Well, my brain is fried. We've been sitting here since 10:30 talking. So
yeah, we had that long conversation in between segments.
it happens every so often. Things that cannot be said in the air will not be said in the air. So
one day we should do like that. Get ready, American style, like you said.
Okay, just shooting off the cuff. Just talk about whatever we can talk about.
I think next week we should just turn the mics on and just go.
We'll have to do that sometime soon. Get some drinks and just sit around. And
I'm saying, man.
Well, I think one of these days, once the summer rolls around, we can sit outside, set a table up outside.
Right.
Capture the ambiance
of the neighborhood.
Us. Yeah. And then just turn on one microphone. Because if we turn on one microphone and sit around it, we could talk for hours because it won't echo.
Right.
But with the immense amount of cords and programs we have hooked up right now, we're probably echoing right now. I don't know.
We apologize if we are.
If we do, we apologize. Technical difficulties, it happens. We run a very cheap ship around here, so we do what we can. But thank you again for tuning in. Stay safe if you are in the affected snow zones, which seems to be everywhere. Stay warm.
Yes, stay warm and stay safe.
Stay happy. Enjoy
Bring your
yourself.
pets inside.
Absolutely. And don't forget, I was going to say this last week. This is Ryan Wolf speaking, saying, don't forget to spay or neuter your stupid people.
Bro, the only problem with that is we'd have to spay or neuter like 3/4 of the planet.
I guess we better get working on it. Have a great week, everybody. Hopefully we have more fun stuff to talk to you about next week.
See you guys next week.
We are better live than dead.
You're not.
Have a good one, my friends. I'll talk to you soon.